Right now, 2 moms are planning on filing discrimination charges, all because they were breastfeeding at this Minnesota pool. They were first asked to cover up or move to a changing room, and when they refused, an employee asked them to leave. Later, a police officer confronted the 2 women. Here's what they said about it.
It's a mother's choice, a family's choice, how they choose to feed their child, and it's the law.
And fellow moms staged a nurse-in recently to support the 2 women, and Minnesota law does allow a mother to breastfeed in any location, public or private. In fact, all 50 states, including Puerto Rico and Hawaii, allow women to openly breastfeed, whether it's in a public space or a private place.
Yeah. No, I'm going to jump in, and I know, Sam, you're very attached to this story, and I don't want to be rude in any way. But isn't it, if someone asks you just to cover up or maybe do that on the side, aren't you respecting the people around you, not judging everyone's opinion, not getting a census of what the room feels? Aren't you doing a favor by just saying to yourself, I'm going to respect other people because they might not think this is fine. I'm going to step away just for a couple minutes and feed my child respectfully under a cover. Why do you need to refuse to cover up?
I think a lot of people feel exactly how you do, and in my opinion, that is the problem. I don't understand why our society is so comfortable with sexualizing breasts, more comfortable than seeing breasts as what they're meant to do naturally, to nourish and feed our children. I know for me personally, I feel judged when I'm out and about and I cover up because I don't even want to use the word respect. I almost think it's sad that I'm more worried about everybody else than my kicking and screaming child who's just trying to get a meal. So I wish that we would somehow switch this dialogue to how do we support the moms. When I see a mom at a pool and I see that her child is struggling and crying and the mom is flustered and she has tears in her eyes because she couldn't sleep the night before, why don't we think, how can I help her? Why are we so quick to say, who is this woman and let's get her out of here because she's making me uncomfortable? Meanwhile, we watch movie after movie, video game after video game, runway after runway show of women's breasts way more out and about than a mother shielding herself to feed her child. What is wrong with our culture?
No, I hear your side, Sam, but it's certain people don't do that. I'm on your side. I don't mind if someone breastfeeds in front of me. It doesn't bother me. If my kid's kicking and screaming and I was breastfeeding, let's not go down that road again. But if I'm in a restaurant and my kid is kicking and screaming, if we're just trying to feed him a meal, not even on a breast, I leave because I'm respectful of the people around me.
And I understand that. I do.
To do that.
But that wasn't
if someone tells me to take my hat off at somewhere, I'm going to take my hat off because I'm respectful of their rules or people around me.
I respect that too. And in this situation, it wasn't like that. The women said they weren't out and about with their breasts being free. In fact, they're shielding their children. I just want our culture to be all about that. It takes a village mentality. Let's help one another out. When we see a mom trying to feed her child, when we see a dad struggling in a restaurant to take his kid into a restroom to change the baby, let's help one another out.
I agree, Sam, I agree, but I think we're missing the point. These are people that have issues with nudity in the human body. That's what it is. You don't see these people going down to Daytona Beach during spring break and telling those girls to cover up, do you? Those girls are arguably showing as much or more than women that are actually breastfeeding.
But those girls aren't in a restaurant or at a pool.
I think it's also a sense of ownership, too. I mean, we're talking about public spaces. This was a public pool. That means that they are part of the community. They paid their tax dollars just like the person who asked them to leave. So when we're talking about these stories and we say, oh, they're protecting the establishment, your last name isn't CVS, your last name is not public pool, your last name isn't anything that has to do with the ownership of this establishment. So when you're talking about maintaining the integrity of something, make sure that you also realize that that person has equal rights as you do.